Brilliance Audio presents Ready or Not by Elizabeth Hayley. Performed by Lauren Sweet and Alexander Sandis. I think he's seizing. My best friend, Sophia, followed my gaze to the dance floor. To Ransom Holt, more specifically. She hummed before saying, "Pretty sure he's dancing. His whole body is vibrating." Her eyebrow quirked. "You know, Taylor, if I didn't know better, I'd think you were just a teensy bit obsessed with how that boy's body moves." I flashed my eyes to her, my bitch face showing just how unimpressed I was with her comment. She merely smirked, the asshole. "Someone's testy." "I just don't even get why he's here," I muttered. Here was Sophia's boyfriend's, scratch that, her fiancé's bar. Well, not Drew's, per se, but the one he'd gotten up and running and continued to manage. It was actually a deck built off an existing bar, but they ran the yard as a separate entity. And despite it being part of a dive bar, the yard had a younger, funner vibe going, with backyard games sprinkled around the lawn it overlooked, cozy seating, and friendly staff. Sophia looked at me like I was being ridiculous. Spoiler alert, I was. But I couldn't really help it. Something about Ransom bothered me. "Because he's friends with Brody," she said slowly. "And pretty much all of us by this point. Except you," she added pointedly. Brody was Sophia's brother, who seemed to collect strays like he was a septuagenarian living alone in a double-wide. Unfortunately, he was unlikely to experience an SPCA raid anytime soon. He'd brought Ransom around a couple of months ago, and the guy had been a fairly regular fixture in our group since. The others had warmed to him quickly. I hadn't. I wasn't a big enough douche to try to tell myself that my not getting close to him had anything to do with him. It was all me and my fucked up emotions. The guy was attractive. Tall, athletic, light hair that sparkled against his tan face, and a wide smile that he flashed easily. He was a bit of a goof, but it was actually kind of endearing. There didn't seem to be any pretense with Ransom. What I saw appeared to be what I'd get with him, but I had been wrong before. Very wrong. And that was what kept me away. "He's like undulating now. Does he think he's a wave?" I asked, rather than acknowledge her comment that I was the only non-member of the Ransom fan club. "Pretty hot wave," she muttered. I scowled at her. "I'm going to tell Drew." She shrugged. "Go ahead. Even he said how hot Ransom is." "Hot as in sweaty? Because he's doing the sprinkler now, so that should probably cool him down." Sophia snorted. "You're the worst." She stood up, taking her glass with her. As she shimmied between our stools, she leaned down and whispered, "You're also not fooling anyone." With that, she walked away to go mingle, her dark, wavy hair brushing across her back as she went. She sidled up next to her fiancé, and he pulled her into his side without even looking over at her, like he instinctively knew she was there. I tried to push down the swell of jealousy that rose up by taking a gulp of my 7 and 7. I didn't begrudge Sophia for her happily ever after. I was so freaking happy that she'd found someone who complimented her so well. But watching her have the dream I'd stupidly convinced myself I'd found almost a year ago, only to have reality come calling in a nightmarish fashion, made me a little envious, too. Not that I'd ever tell her that.